Okay, let's do this. Well, actually, no, we'll not do this. Stop that. All right, I'm here. Oh, keep 100. What's he doing, brother? I'll drop the link for those that wanna chime in. Hell, why not? Since I'm about to go for my little dissertation. Give me 1 second before I drop the link. Welcome to all that's new to the Chaos Rain channel and those that will subscribe in the near future. I'd like to thank you. Welcome. As you know, if you're a new subscriber or going to be a subscriber, make sure you hit the red button and hit the top bell when there's notifications where there's live streams or uploads here on the Chaos Rain channel. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. And you can now add me as a friend on the Facebook, the book. Eric Rain on Facebook. And normally those are on the about section on the channel. So if you want to subscribe or whatever, you can find it there. I also might put it in the description of every upload or live stream. So the information is there. You know where to find me. I'm just going through one little thing. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I forgot. I also have a Discord. Yes, Chaos is in Discord now. The link for Discord, I will. Should I drop it? Yeah, I might. Let me just do. All right. Okay. Let me, because I always know there's a Discord service. I don't use it often, but I am using it now. Because I gotta find it. And one thing doing this, if y'all not knowing that as a content creator, you have to always put out the word yourself, because let's be honest, you can't depend on the algorithm of YouTube or any other platform do it for you per se. They say they normally will do it for you, but normally when they push out the notifications, it's usually normally they give it to new subscribers, not existing subscribers. So people not familiar how it works, that's how it's supposed to work on the average. So if you're going to be doing any content, podcast and live streaming, or whatever you feel is in your desire, you always got to know you have to put out the notification personally. Now, there's some sites that will help further put out when someone's live or live on the internet. But normally, when you're doing this, you always got to do it manually, because normally, if you want to get results, you have to do something different. And this is what I've learned firsthand doing this for now, moving around 3 years now. It's actually the third year. So, like I said, when you don't work, you don't eat. That's how the thing works. Okay, so I think I put out everything. I'll put the invite for those who feel inclined that they want to come up. I will go for my dissertation nonetheless, but wait, let me see if I got any notifications. Yeah, I think I got something. Hold on a second, guys. I want to make sure I'm looking at this right. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on here. Yeah. Anyway, the show must go on. So I miss y'all. I'm not sure what's going on, what's been happening lately. As you know, the title that's present with the thumbnail. And before I go into the title, what made me decide to come and talk about this? Well, I've noticed there's a lot of things circling through the internet about Black folks in particular that they say they're going their own way. Hell, some of them said they are divesting. But I always think that, you know, with a community we reside, are they really going somewhere, or they just talk a lot of crap? So I'm going to probably discuss this from my perspective tonight. I'm trying to look here if I'm missing anything. No, looks like everything is. Wait. Okay. Okay. Well, it looks like a lot of people activity. See, one thing about Sundays, people are doing as much as they are, which is cool. What is this? I tell you, if y'all read what's in the I get through Messenger, it's just crazy. It's really crazy about some about hot sauce. Anywho, now one thing before going to the subject, you notice you heard the term from these gentlemen here about their views about the sisters, and I'm always thinking, saying when they talk about this term, this is what I mean by it. That's what they mean by the Night Riders. And that's a famous TV show, if you think about it, back in the 80s, 82 particularly, 82 for 86. The Night Rider, a famous television show which deals with the artificial intelligence of this, what we call one of the first known smart cars or AI cars. If anybody was a person born in 70s or even 80s would know about Night Rider. They would know that show personally. So when you hear terms of saying they don't want to deal with Night Riders, that's one of the things that they're talking about in a way, but it's much deeper than that. But, I'm not giving more clues on that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, to the subject at hand now. Today's subject is titled, Divested, then I divested, then you return back. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, my fault. Actually, if you divest, then you return back, meaning that you hear, like I said before, most people say they are divested. They're no longer here, particularly the Black queens, or you want to call the sisters. But my thinking of it overall, and this is the thing that a lot of men never understand, and I want most men that's either they're BI, B1, or pro-Black, or whatever you want to call it, in regards to dealing with worry about what the so-called Black women are doing. I think it's not really too much of concerns in the long term, much as short term, because if you look at most women are not long-term thinkers. They're like short-term in the short front. And I think it's a natural inherent survival mechanism. But overall, let's be honest. If you really are divested, then you all of a sudden you now feel so you could come back after the divestment is not over, or the divestment did not work and you had to come back, meaning you come back to, i.e., the Black male, aka the Black man. And to me, I find that as a no. Why I mean no? Because let's think about it. Let's rationalize this. You've been hearing about this, fellas, always for the last few decades, maybe 1 or 2 decades, maybe 3. And you always hear that the women do not like when you sit there and you step out and you go find a non-Black mate as either a wife, long-term relationships, or whatever. Okay, I get it. But now the fact that these women are shaming you or giving you time pushback for whatever reason it is, and I mean whatever reason, they do this solely so that way they control the axis of the sexual politics of man, particularly Black men. Now, mind you, I thought this was always a myth. I thought when I heard this from the first time, it was nonsense. It's a joke. All these little things that they use to try to shame, I guess, the opposite sex of what they should be doing with their own phallus. And now that I've learned with time and observe very well that, listen to me, that they have been not only swirling it up, but they're leaving bastard babies with their swirling behavior. Let me explain. If you notice that most women, fellas, you never understand this, when you look at someone that have children either by you, and depending if she is light-skinned, this might be a little tricky, but nonetheless, stay with me. You never know if that kid is really yours. And we are known, and we have proven evidence now, because we have DNA testing now, that once you start testing your children from this woman, you find out throughout the years you spent with her and that bastard of a child that might not be yours, or it could be years, that you come to realization after you get back the results that the child that you've been covenant, protecting, spending money, that it was not never yours. And not only never yours, that child might come from a man that's not particularly from the same race, aka the black man or the black man's seed, whatever you want to call it. And knowing that this is much more rampant, very much rampant for some time now. I'm looking. And to know this exists now, okay, that this exists now, that they talk about these men are creating mixed kids, but we never really understand that the men that could easily, let's say, date out, procreate out, the numbers don't really add up, even present time or now. Present time or the past, present, and now. Now, can we say that most men that date now, they're not procreating outside their race? The males, we can't say that's not this. It doesn't exist. It does exist, but is it really in the high rate like they say it does? I doubt it. And not only I don't doubt it, but if you think about the men that really interracially dates, and you look at their counterpart, especially if you're a man that's either big, not that big, but you're keep yourself up in shape, and your mate is 2 to 3 times bigger than you. And trust me, fellas, there are pictures of this existing, because the sisters have put out content on this, and I've seen it firsthand to a degree. I mean, to a degree. But usually, when the non-black woman is bigger than her mate, usually the man, vice versa, is also big, from what I'm seeing. But that's just me. But overall, when you see that, normally times the man doesn't have much options, and he could be potentially not doing very well financially to find him dating or in a relationship, alleged relationships with a overweight woman of another race. So when you go back to the scenario of the divestment thing, you divest, then you return back. It is more than just return back. As always, there is a sense of insurance. Now, what I mean by insurance, you got to understand how the mindset of how this black chick thinks. She has the option, like any group, to engage and play with what we call sex, and play with in a high form where at times when you start playing and use your coochie as a sponge to absorb and suck everything that gets, it does have some dire consequences within time. And usually the mother or someone that is your first teacher should teach you more of pussy control, but we're not going to that. But let's say this. You think about it, that she always had the free range of access of the pick the litter from 18 and I think up to 30 or close to 35. And during that time, if you think about it, that she does explore the options already. So when you hear them talking about they are exploring their options or divested, trust me, they are already exploring and divested their options already long time before you as a man that has it more easier if you choose to do it. And the funny thing about that is that you see a plethora of babies that are mixed now out here in these streets. And 9 10 times when the women are knocked up by non-black men, these women on the average are not getting wifed up. Now, God knows if you were married to your non-black counterpart and staying with him, is a different story. But you see the same scenario where they will divorce their non-black counterparts same way as they divorce if they get married to the black man. Now they said it does get in high numbers because let's be honest, most other race men they pick our women the last, and not like they selected say that a sister can't be picked as third or second to other groups of men. But these other groups of men already know and conclude throughout the history and the pathology of a lot of our people, especially the sisters, that you're willing to give it up without less work and easy. They already got it in their thinking because once they know through the images of commercialization and how the women's behave on the streets, they already conclude that they don't have to do much or work hard for the pussy. If you want to go there, they will just sit there, say, stand up, look presentable. They probably have to not have too much of a body odor, but just look present enough, clean top shirt, what I'm saying? Let the hair nice and long, and that will make the women drool over them. They don't do much at all. Hell, even the fattest of the non-black men, aka Caucasian men, that had a little short skit video, how he got so mad and is applaud that a woman will sit there take him and he has no job and he's fat. And you know the rest. She's willing to give up the draws. But hey, that's reality. Now we can go into psychology why most of our people, especially women, think like that. And that'll be too much time to even examine and look at on this stream today. But overall, we know that the white male or the non-black man is God to a lot of people, including the sisters. And not only the sisters here in America, but also abroad in the Caribbean and in Africa. And we could say Europe too, but Europe is like not the first world nation. Knowing this, that a lot of sisters, they will have their fun and swirl up and, fuck and suck everything that moves, possibly. And yes, possibly. And eventually, once they slum it up, whore it up, slop it up, they come to you, black man, ready made, and say, here, take the body now and take me as I am. And I wish I could play that theme song where it says, take me as I am. And you look at her dead in her face. And only thing that comes to mind, if I can find it, hold on. I think I have it. Oh, I don't think I have it. Oh, well. I wish I had. I think I do have it. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. This is the one. I wish I had this thing ready and made, but I don't have it ready. She will be just like this.
You identify my bitches with APs. She ain't got an AP. She is not mine. You cold. He cold. She belongs to the streets.
That's what she'll go after you came to conclusion. And that's a cold piece, though. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, like I said, you know where she belongs. The streets she is, and the streets she shall return. So, like I said, most women nowadays have the pick of the litter, and they explore their options much more than you fellas. Don't be fooled. And I understand why most dudes always concern themselves about the goddamn body counts. I mean, yeah, it's a problem. I see it. I mean, the ideal edit she should have as low as possible, but in the first world we live in, and as so much as sex is promoted commercialized in image and music. I just don't see it possible to have these ladies today have very low body counts. Unless you really want to deal with a virgin, and you're gonna have to go outside America to find that. Sorry. I mean, I know there are very, very few virgins here in America because how America is so over sexualized as a whole. It's hard to find that you lucky if she didn't get screwed before she turned 13. And trust me, there are some stories that I've heard. If I told y'all, whew, I think one time there was a story. One chick told me that when they were in the third grade, they were just having sex in school. So I don't know how you get away with that, but they be getting it in, man. And let's know that a lot of these children have been very much touched sexually before while they were under age 10. But that's not a story. But like I said, it's far-fetched to find that you're gonna find a low body count for your desired wife in the future, fellas. Another thing you will notice that a lot of women that they have a history of lying and manipulating. That's logic and normal in their nature. Is you as a man determine what is the truth under the lie. As you know, women are very good liars if you're not really intelligent as a man to really pick out their brains and understand what lie they're trying to tell you. But but like I said, when it comes to these ladies, if you understand, fellas, that when they divest, then return to you, it's always that they have to come back to you because there's no one else that's willing to take them after they go slum it up and divest outside the community, i.e., other groups of men. And other groups of men do love, and I mean love and about their heart, to really slum them up, bust all types of nuts in them, etc. And eventually, after they do their nastiness, even to the point where I hear even now, some of the sisters are going to Dubai and getting feces on them. It's really on an all-time low. Now, my jokes are the women that are either businesswomen or ones that imitate or actual models, mostly Instagram models per se, that they know that with those other groups of men, that what they do in that part of Africa, it's a known custom. It's very disturbing to know. So you take money off some men and you just get poop on, and but like I said, what I know. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Bitcoin L. If you want to come up, the link's there. Yeah. So, yeah, what's good? So me saying this, oh, another thing. You heard I always say about the cleanup man, which I got from Mr. Riley. And I always think said that it's every black man that does what he's supposed to be doing and he gets where he needs to be in life and still is improving on himself, both physically and financially, that they should get the pics of the litter of what we call a baby mama with children as a mate, or a woman that has so much trauma because she's been fucking sucking throughout her good years, ready to instill her trauma ways onto you. Are you ready for that, black man? Is that in the future? Are you prepared for that? Because this is what is in the environment today, unfortunately. And here's a funny thing about this. I'm gonna go off topic for a second. The thing with Fresh and Fit, and I will say these names, is these men are not ADOS black men. But they are black men nonetheless, because here in America, even if you try to fill out the forms that you're other and all that stuff, they know that you are a nigga. So when people watch this show, they know that they look at two niggas. Unfortunately. But that's the world we live in today. We live in a race society, color spectrum. Live it. You gotta live with it. So, knowing this, that when they talk about their choices of women, that they don't deal with ratchet bitches. And here's the caveat of this. When these men said they don't want to deal with ratchet set of women, a lot of people should be applauding that. Say, no, we don't want, we should be expecting better. That you should carry yourself as a lady as possible, or carry yourself in good grace. You should not be carry yourself like you come from the decadence and doing some hood shit, ratchet stuff. The things that most men said they don't like, but engage in giving them the dick nonetheless, and that's another story. But nonetheless, men are gonna fuck anything. But at the end of the day, in regards long term and something to keep for long term, that's not in, I guess, the resume or in the future for a lot of men in regards to wives. Now, a lot of people say that, well, these men are wifing up whores. No, they wife up women that makes them bust faster. And not only that, some of these women, if they are married to them, they know that she has done something enough that fulfills his little twisted fantasy. Now, not to say that if you feel a man's fantasy, he's going to give it a ring. That's not the case. But hear me out. That if a man, depending on his economic situation, marries a so-called alleged whore, we all know what happens to him in the long term. I'm sorry, ladies. And for most men that got their stuff in order, we don't really focus on it. We say, oh, she's a cute woman and all that. But when we know that she's a whore, we say, bro, that's a bad move. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. And when it happens, we just sit back and say, told you so. That's how men think about it. If the woman is in doubt, a real whore. And mind you, most dudes, they don't really mind nowadays. They'll take the consequence depending on how the woman makes them feel. But overall, most dudes, they're not say we look for whores. In the long term. The short term, yeah, for some nice fun and play, yes, they'll seek that. But regardless of long term, no. So, like I said, with even back to the fresher fit situation that's been buzzing, these men are very much genius because they sit there and plan out how they put out their content so it still gets them the notoriety, meaning that you're going to talk about them. Even I mentioned right now that they have created a platform so that way people can't keep their name out their mouth because of what they have put out on their own platform. And to find that certain outlets like the Shade Room and all these little ratchet outlets talking about in regards to black women is because most of them are watch, advertised, and possibly funded by black women, possibly. And not only just black women, women that are either single with children, baby mamas, etc. That's how I view the Shade Room as what it is as a platform. They leaving and spilling shades. It's kind of dark in here with darkers, aka shades in this bitch. But anyway, so like I said, knowing this, that these men have a preference and they are in their right for their preference. Hell, you don't see dudes complain about your preference, ladies. The only thing a man will tell you personally is, can you do what's necessary to get what you want? Should be the biggest question you should ask oneself. And if you can't answer your own question, then obviously you do need to really reevaluate certain standards. And your standards probably have to be lower. Because you can't, by 18 and pushing close to 30, fake you just going to get the pick of the litter just like that, or you get it later on. The window does close down for a certain set of men. And that's who you're looking for. And the men have to tell you this, ladies. They've been telling you this for the last 2 years, a year and a half now. And from example after example and observing the outcomes, the men are always going to win at the end of the day, ladies. Always. And you can't do nothing about it. The only thing you have at the end is your time. Time for you is not your friend. So if you're very much complacent, lazy to get what you really want, especially look for a mate, you should take the emphasis to make your time be your best friend to the point where you don't waste no more time. And the younger you are, if you're still young or you're a little older, then that means you gotta move with purpose, with sense, goddamn sense of what you want. And that includes what you do with your body in the long term. Now, one thing when people talk about say waiting out for sex or whatever you want to call it, I would say that's a young girl thing. But after the age of, I would say 28 going on 20, actually after the age of 29, you're gonna have to really start reevaluate because I've saw women that are in their 40s still holding out on giving up the pussy. And I'm thinking, who are you waiting for again? That's what. Are you waiting for Prince Charming? Excuse me. Why holding it? Oh, I see. Good luck to that. I mean, trust me. I saw episodes of women that's in their mid 40s that said, or actually one in particular of a content creator, which y'all know what I'm talking about. That's a virgin at the age of 45, a woman. And I'm saying, God damn. You tell me you holding out for Prince Charming and you almost pushing 50, bitch? For real? Say what? But it tells you that once you get to that point in life as a woman and you never busted wide open for a nigga, I would look at you and say you wasted a good a good generation of your life. That means you didn't move with no purpose. You sit there, you sat home and hope that someone's gonna come to the sky and bless you with a husband. That's what I call delusion. Big delusion. And mind you, she is one of very many women out there, possibly sisters out there that's doing this. Are there a lot of virgin women at the age in large numbers out there? Nope. But the ones that do reveal that information and was dead serious, I gotta look at that as a red flag, because it tells me that you wasted time in your precious years just to hope to get a quote unquote a perfect man, which there's no such thing as perfection. Everybody got problems. Everybody got their baggage. Everybody got imperfections, if we want to call it. To sit here and think that you're looking for perfection in this 21st century Western degenerate world we live in, you need your head examined. I would have to advise go to the quickest shrink fast to get yourself check. But other than that, now further down the line with the divestment, even when dealing with divestment, then you return back. There are a lot of ladies now because there are few content creators, male content creators now putting out these videos, hit piece of a lot of the ladies getting, I guess, their lives taken by other groups of men, non-black men especially. And it's not just one video or one story. These are multiple stories out here that you have to miraculously dig up in the internet to find out. Now, why I mention this because we didn't think that this exists. We know that some people that are getting that, but we didn't know that it was in a large magnitude of numbers. And I'm thinking, where did this come from? How come I never heard of this? I know that there are women that have gotten killed by men, but I never heard the sisters getting killed by non-black men in mass numbers like this throughout these articles. And now that, and I'll tell people this, if any of y'all that's friends or a subscriber to my channel, if you find these articles, please present to me through email or leave a comment in this video, and I will look at some of these articles myself. That it tells me that the whole purpose of a lot of women creating content talking about their divesting for the black man is because they feel over the other side that there's perfection. that all their worries are going to be fixed, all the struggles they gone through in their own lives is going to be fixed by other groups of men. But we find out that these other groups of men are not only having it or going to put up with the crap you do, but also they are more strict and patriarchal to the point that they will put hands and most likely you'll be missing. You'll go missing. So me thinking about that, I have to conclude say, well, there's the problem. There is the problem. And the problem is that, you can go over there as much time as you want, but let's be honest. Let's be honest. There is no safer or better over there. And I said personally. And not only is it not safer or better, but now that you have, if you act a certain way, have a certain mindset over this community, you damn sure better not take that over in the next community because they're not having that. They don't want to hear that crap or deal with your nonsense. And I find it interesting that most people, especially the females, know how to behave properly when they're in work or around other groups of people like that. But when they're around the black man, it's like an extra turn up they present themselves. It's like an extra gear they shift in a higher gear when it comes to black men. And I find that to be very disgusting. Very disgusting. Disgusting indeed. But it shows that a lot of men, especially black men, the standards got to be better. And we had to raise it to a sense, men, that we don't deal with this type of behavior. And women only allow what we allow them to do to us, unfortunately. And because they have a certain mindset that they do own you, they feel entitled. And entitled people have a certain behavior towards others. So keep that in mind. Now that these stories are bring out in the forefront, and now most men are now showing their little secret that they've been keeping secret. You know what the sisters do, ladies, or what black women do, black females. They sit there, they'll keep applying pressure on you and say, well, you're doing this more than to us, and I'm gonna still point the fingers on you on your behavior towards me, and I'll leave out other groups of men. And the reason why they will do this is because they hoping and wishful thinking that they could still be in good grace to other groups of men, so that way they possibly become the next Miss Anne. Yes, yes, the next Miss Anne. They can't sit there and talk about this, expose this on their own channels. That's suicide. Other groups of men are watching you, ladies. And know they watch you, but they know in the back of their head when you start talking about the black man the way they do, they said, look at these dumb fucking bitches. I love when they talk about their male counterparts. Now I can get easy access to them. More pussy for me. And listen, that's what they're thinking. And they have to work hard for it. They say, you know what? I just come shown as I am, just come as I am, and she's going to want to pull the panties down. That's in their thinking, ladies, unfortunately. Other groups, men, they love when you start talking badly about your own man. Because it makes them have to work very less to get access to. And they shall get access to. Either you get it willingly or they take it. Either or they still gonna get it regardless. And trust me, non-black people have taken the pussy from y'all as well. And trust me, there's articles on that too. And one thing, knowing this now, you have to really sit back and think, say, okay, since this is out here, what now? What should I do? I'll tell you what you do. You do, ladies, you change your behavior, change what you do, and be better women. Now, I know most of the female content creators, they talk about self-improvement if they do, or they try to tell you to, explore your options, which you're already doing already. But at the end of the day, are you getting the results you asked for? Because these women that push this, where is their non-black husbands? That's my question I could ask. Wait. Okay. Let me read this. Let's see something. Now we know all this knowledge could touch lay down with a previous swirler. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Well, this is not just one swirler water sniper. You have to apply all of them water sniper. Because let's be honest, what one thing a woman always want and desire? Attention. And if you're a woman and you don't have nothing to offer to other women, you come to YouTube and lay out your grievance to your group of men. And you'll get likes, clicks, and hell, you might get some wonderful super chats. And hell, if you play cards right, listen good. Hear me good. Listen good. You'll get a commercial with AdSense. Isn't it special? Yes, it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. See, one thing I've learned that it's safe to talk about black people in the internet. It is very safe. Hell, corporations will reward you for talking about your community. And they will reward you with big dollar cents. AdSense. So what do you think will make sense, make more money? Talking about the women or the men? I would have to say talking about the men probably will make just as much money or more if you do it right. Hold on. So knowing this, you always gotta think. Oh, you always gotta think that it makes better sense to talk about the male group in the internet because it gets clicks and views. Let's look at another comment. I think phrase that comment wrong, but could you be with a black woman who was with a non-black man, had kids with a non-black man? All right, I think you're saying, could you be with a black woman? To be honest with you, if I found out that she was in an interracial relationship and she had kids, water sniper, I don't think I could really entertain her. If I knew now or anytime now, I would have to call the relationship off. And my reason why that is because it's going to segment to this. And I wish I did a poll on this, but I don't have much people watching this today. But I will do one as a follow-up. That, and this goes to all the fellas. Would you love to take back a sister after after evidence has shown that she has been summoning up with other groups of men, even go as far as having a mixed child from another man? Would you still take her in or take her back? That should be your question, fellas. To be honest with you, all right, I'll do it now, but then I'll probably rephrase this. Yeah, I could do it. 1 second, guys. Let me pull out this. Oh, and make sure you hit the like button, share the stream, and yeah, just like and share the stream. All right. All right. Y'all could lay out votes. Okay. And as I give people time to vote in, we'll know the poll. It's not gonna be a good poll, but we'll do it anyway, since you asked. Okay, good. And I think I have somebody gonna come up. And let me put the one more time. I think somebody's gonna come up. And this is something that I never really was gonna put a poll on. But now that you asked me water sample, I'll put the poll on to see what people's take on it. But let's go a little bit more deep into this. Why would a woman feel it's in the best interest to shame the men, if we want to call it shame it, to they should not be dating out, and while they behind closed doors are dating out and slumming it up with other groups of men, even go as far as having kids, that why they did this? What's the purpose of if you don't want certain set of brothers, black men particularly, right? They're nerdy, I guess boring, plain, or you want to labels you want to call it, lames. If you don't want these type of set men, why are you concerned they go over the other side? And the answer is very simple, gentlemen. Insurance. Don't we all need insurance? Like insurance that if something happens, I take my hammer and break glass, and I have an emergency pack to fall back on. Because let's be honest, brothers, you are the fallback plan for a lot of ladies, or like Mr. Sperling said, lovely ladies. You are the fallback plan, and I have come to the conclusion that it is a necessity to keep the species, a certain set of species, staying in one group as long as it can, so that way they could explore their options, which they're doing already, and eventually they might come back to if it fails. If y'all recall, there was one woman that was well known that wrote a book about swirling. Well, I'm hearing now she's now in a relationship with a black man. But how is this possible? After you've been doing this for over a decade, and even go as far as write a book teaching sisters how to get a non-black man. Listen, you know you're prophetic when you have to write a book to teach how to get a non-black man. That tells me in your nature you should not be dealing with a non-black man, because that's not in your nature. You should come as you are, like most women. Last time I checked, and a man will sit there, gravitate you, will take you in, might like you, and go as far as will put a ring and make you something more than just a fuck thing, a concubine. I'm the same. Yeah, I've seen the poll now. Let me look at it. I'm gonna let the poll go up a little more before I conclude it. It's not really gonna be a good poll, but let's say that that is the case, right? But how is it possible this woman that has wrote the books, made one more books, talk crap about the males in this community, and miraculously come back and able to get a black man, regardless the black man is ADOS or not? I'll tell you why, because your standards are not high, fellas. And that's something you need to examine, because women, they look at you, especially the sisters, as the insurance policy to come back after they slum up with other groups of men. So, no further ado, I'm going to start opening the panel. I've said enough. As I have here, Marcus Aurelius, keep 100. What's good, brother?
What's going on, man?
Yes.
I got a call when you went on.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But then I see the topic you're discussing. Basically, it's about what sisters that want to come back after they've divested.
It's in general, I would say divest, then you return back. It does apply to sisters, but one thing, the purpose of this is I find it that when we talk about people that size they going over there and it doesn't work, they'll come back. And which applies to the sisters, since we talk about them. This is something I said earlier in the broadcast, even now, that they look at the black men today as that insurance policy, that after they do what they do with other groups of men that they're doing right, that they can come back and a man they'll get a man that's either productive or not. And that's the reward. You get me? And something that some men have not really think about deeply, that you're actually advocating that if they do this and and you still let them in, something wrong there. So go ahead.
Well, I would say that black men tolerate a good number of nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, the thing is, with black men, and I'm a specify what I mean, I know a lot of people use the term educated, lame, or whatever, but like if you're a black man, you know, you got your. I don't know if you use profanity here. I want to keep it clean for you if you're trying to monetize.
I mean, right now I'm clean now. I cuss a little bit, but it's no worry. It's like, you know, we try to regulate as much language so we could slip up here and there, but that's fine. You know, as long as the conversation is good enough, it's fine. You know.
So this is okay. So I'll just say, if you got your ish together, right? If you're a black man, you got your thing together, you make good money, you drive a decent vehicle. I mean, you know, you ain't got nothing slipping. You feel me? Not the men that they complain about. They complain about, you know, the F boys and they fridge and they wallet driving their car. Let's say you're not one of those, right?
Yep.
And to me, you know, when women complain about those guys, that lets me know what type of men they used to interact with. But my thing is, if you're one of these guys, right, you're dealing with women who are choosing everyone but you first, right? And sometimes they're inside of the black men demographic, black male demographic. Name the demographic that they prefer, right? So whether it's them or, you know, if they divest, it's usually by the time women are ready to divest, they dealt with, you know, some type of F boy or something like that, and they couldn't get him right, so they ready to divest. It's not because we don't want them. It's not because men who got they ish together don't want them. You know, because that's what black women say. Well, if you get it together, we'll be with you. But that's not
Marcus. You actually Borgen in a couple times. That's why I stopped just a little bit. It's Borgen in. So when you're saying the sentence, it's start to break up a little bit. So I don't know if you want to come down and come back in. It's Borgen a little bit badly.
It's still still doing it.
No, I think it's clear. It's clear. Okay. When you hear back the playback, you'll notice. That's why I kind of stop you. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll kind of reiterate a couple of things that I said. Basically, what I'm saying is, you know, when you got your ish together, you know, as you're told, this is the requirement, right? This is what you're told to do. Like, you know, if you want to be, you know, the choice, you want to be, you know, the select. But what we already know is in black culture, the guy with his life together is not the select man. Right. So whether, you know, it's women saying, OK, well, since I can't get these F boys right, I'm going to divest. Or, you know, if women are basically saying, you know, in order for you to get with me, you got to pay all the bills and this and that and third, you know, for the women that go that way, like, you know, for the women that decide to divest, who can actually divest, because a lot of them can't. Let's just keep it real. A lot of them cannot. A lot of girls, they online, they cap and they talking this divestment nonsense, but they can't really divest. In order for you to divest, the group you divest into has to be able to want to rock with you. They have to want you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So in human history, we've seen, you know, colonizers take over an area, and when they take over the area, they take over the women. That's not happened here. When it comes to black people, yeah, we've been colonized, but black women have not been, you know, absorbed into white society the way they would have liked.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah. Well, it's not gonna happen, bro. You know, especially not you know, the ratchet, you know, hot girl summer bras that we're seeing rolling around. That not even we want. I mean, I talk to guys. I mean, you check out my I had a guy on YouTube, Asian kid that hit me up saying that black women are influencing Asian women to be ratchet, and now he doesn't even want those ratchet Asian women. So you can imagine,
really,
yeah, you can imagine. I let him talk, man. You can imagine his perspective of black women if he doesn't want his own women acting like black women. No other group is gonna absorb black women into their demographic. It's not happening. They look at these women as the least desirable. The dating apps prove it. Every metric that you want to look up proves it. So this divestment, it sounds good. But we all know what black women look like when white men are interested. We know what kind of black women they want.
Yeah.
And most of them don't look like that.
True. That's true. And the funny thing, Marcus, is because I don't really focus on divestment, because when I look at and I hear this as some new moniker recently on the internet, that I'm thinking the long term saying, not many of y'all are going to be successful doing that, but it requires you to do certain things. And if you're just black, depending if you're dark black, light black, is you have to carry a certain energy towards this woman just to get another group of men, because they require something. And they're very much more ruthless than the black men you deal with, especially someone that they say they entertain in our groups. You get me? If you slip up and you do something out of order, you could potentially, get outs badly. You get me? Going over there.
You talking about like a black woman?
Yeah, yes, that. And I'm saying, because the articles I've noticed that a few countries have revealed that they're meeting their maker and all this stuff, that it's just not one snare, it's multiple snares. Now a lot of people could say that most of these women are not ADOS, which could be true. But nonetheless, here in America, we deal with black and white. We don't really go into the nationalities of things. You see? So yeah. And that's why I want people to get out of that mindset that, this person's this. No. Once you step here in the West, we go through a color line here. You get me? And people they can still represent the match side, but when they're under the eyes of other groups of people, they see a black person. Overall. So when I hear the ones that lose their life towards non-black men, yeah, there's some of them that not ADOS, but there are a few that are ADOS that have lost their lives as well. You get me? But one thing I want people to understand is that if you have a certain demeanor on your own community here, don't think you just could pick your ball and go over there and you're gonna be fine. You get me?
I mean, understand the game and the nonsense that black women are used to playing with black men. They can't go to other groups and play these games. They'll kill them.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't. Let's look. You can't. This the please baby please ish that black men be on with they women. Because let's be honest, like non-black men look at black men's relationship with black women as a joke. They do.
Yeah. Yes, they do. Of course.
They do. They look at us like we the softest, cotton candiest, MFers on the face of the earth, in reference to how we deal with our women. They deal with their women with an iron fist compared to us. These women cannot go to any other group or any other culture and play these games. Their women can't even play those games with them. These women, our women, black women, can definitely not go and play them type of games over there, and it won't, have some sort of bad outcome, consequence, or whatever. It's not happening.
It's not happening. And now it's not happening, but at times that, it's like this. If you have a certain demeanor and behavior, just like the woman that was on Fresh and Fit, the Asian chick, right? How she up her pop in the mouth. I say you can't do that with the wrong non-black man. It's consequence. You get me? Just and mind you, Myron, regardless, he's a East African person, that he don't tolerate stuff, and he's considered quote unquote a lame, and he let him know straight up what, he'll check you quick.
See, by the time you see non-black women act like that, they date black men, because that sort of attitude, demeanor, disposition only works with us.
Yes.
Black men are, I hate to say it, there's like the simps of the world.
Of course.
Right? What a sniper says, let me see non-black men abandon their non-black women and start a war with us for our women. It'll never happen.
That's not happening.
It's not happening. Nobody's fighting. Nobody wants these women for free. I mean, they'll smash, but nobody's keeping. Nobody's playing for keeps. Not in no meaningful way. No large numbers. If that would have happened, these women would let us know. They would let us know. They think that getting a non-black penis means that they're divested. No, get the ring. Get the ring. Show me
Yeah, it
a
has to be something.
neighborhood.
Yeah, real insurance. You know what I'm saying? That this man
Yeah.
wedge and you stay married. You get me? And
Mm-hmm.
here's a secret. We all know because the situation with black men here in the West that if we get married, 9/10 we're not gonna divorce our wives. It takes a lot for a black man to divorce. Now, a lot of people say money is involved. I get it, but when it comes to these other group of men, if it does go right, they will immediately sign those papers and keep it pushing without looking back, because they know that if they stay, bro, it's not even gonna go. You know what's gonna happen. You know, so yeah, I'm not even gonna go in detail that. You know, so, but overall, you know, when it comes to us and them, it's totally two different dynamics. You know, and it's vital that the shame language that deals with the men that decide to go their own way, also, that let's be honest, a black man's gonna have it easy because other groups want a man. They're not gonna sit to play these games, say, you know, I'm strong, independent. No, they require they need a man for their own sustainability and survival. And like this society we in, most of men, everything is trained and conditioned to be individual and do for yourself. You know, need this and that, and there's problems, and not the short term, but the long term. Because let's be honest, most men, they might not admit this, they don't want to be at home with their pillows or their vibrators all day.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fact.
Mm.
It's nice they have it, but overall, they want actual man to covenant them, protect them, provide all those little things. And it goes back to what you want to do to get that, because that requires you to do some work and do something different. Which, let's be honest, most women, our sisters, are not willing to do the work. In their mind, they're entitled, and let's be honest, men are free in their logic. That's why they move and behave the way they do, because they say, I could just leave you and get another one. Really? Prove it.
Well, the reason why the whole men going their own way thing is shamed the way that it is because we have more of that option that women do not. To be honest, more black men could go their own way if they. I make the argument that black men are race loyal. Black women are not race loyal. They're just trapped in their position that other demographics don't prefer them. Black men are race loyal in the fact that we are preferred, right? But
Yeah.
we choose not to, I guess, divest in the numbers that we could if we wanted to.
If we wanted to, yeah.
Most of it, if you listen to most of this stuff online, right, where guys are complaining about black women, it's not because they don't want to rock with black women, it's because they want to change black women so then they can still deal with them. They're trying to reconcile with black women as opposed to you know, dating out. Most black men don't want to date out. Most black men don't want to date another race of woman, right? If you look at marriage and dating numbers, is right there. If you look at dating app, you know, swipes and requests, it's right there. Most black men want a black woman. That's just a fact.
It's a fact.
But
Yes.
yeah, but most of us, you know, are kind of like edged out of the you know, the choices. They, you know, black women they eliminate a lot of black men out of their how can I say, their preference for the dumbest of reasons. You know what I'm saying? For the dumbest of reasons. So, you know, facts, man. At the end of the day, you know, black dudes have more of a option to date, marry, whatever outside of the race than black women, and again, black women run black culture. So the shaming, the shaming comes from there. If it were the other way around, then it would be us shaming them for, you know, dating out, even though they do it less than us. But you know, at the end of the day, black women run black culture. So, you know, any of us making any moves that we have the option to make, right? And sometimes that ain't even necessarily dating white women or Asian women. Sometimes if we want a woman that ain't overweight, or you know, she like this or she like that.
Agreeable. agreeable.
Yeah, agreeable. You know, whatever we decide that we want, all of that is a problem. So it's bigger than, you know, dating out. It's just if we decide that we want it to be a certain way, it's all an issue. But, you know, at the end of the day, if black women divest and they come back, 9 times out of 10, there's a black man that'll have them because, you know, it's just the way our culture is built, you know, is ingrained in us to just allow for that nonsense. A lot of us.
Yeah, I know. And I remember when I told earlier, Marcus, when B just did a video, I think it's more than one video about some of the ladies that were having these mixed babies by other non-black men that are almost like, you know, the same pookies that they complain about, that they have babies that's so-called non-black. That it's really a testament that, you know, if you can't get the so-called black man you want, you're gonna find someone that's almost similar in attitude and swag to really deal with, and even them not even marrying them. So it tells you that you're damn you do, you're damn you're not. So it lets you know, say that maybe it's time they need to start listening to men if they really want a man, if that's what they're seeking, and stop listening to other groups of other women, especially women in their own group that have no resume of success. You know, hell, some of them are just in worse conditions as them, and that's the last person you want to take advice from, to be honest, to be fair, you know. Yeah. Let me just check. I'm checking something. Yeah. So, like I said, my thing to most brothers, and I might end the poll, guys, and do the poll again. That let's be honest. If you found out that they have gone the other side, they should not really come back, in my opinion. As a man, I'm speaking personally. I don't care if they have a kid by a non-black man, or, you know, they're in a relationship and then all of a sudden they come here. There has to be some form of consequence a man could get. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people, consequence doesn't always have to be physical. There are many ways to skin a cat. And because we're logical beings as men, we use logic, there are ways that we could punish them if they decide that, you know, they're going to do this and disrespect, and then they can come back and get rewarded. No, that stops. That ends. And I'm hoping that young black men get this. Besides our age, we're a little older, so we know it is. But usually, I'm more focused on the young dudes to have a more clear understanding of this. You get me? Because they're always gonna find some fallback plan. Hell, I see older women now. They want to entertain younger dudes now because, let's be honest, they said that they're easy to listen to. No, they're easy to control, because a young dude, what he's gonna do with someone that's 10 or 15 years older than him, besides sex.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, is that what they say when we date younger women? They say, "Oh, we dating them so we can groom them and control them." So why is it different?
That's the same thing, yeah. Same thing, yeah, of course, same thing. So why is it so different? Oh, because you try to control the axis of sex and the mate selection. And a lot of dudes are stupid and they listen to that, you know. And I tell you, say, well, you might shame some, but you can't shame all, and that's just the honest truth. Let me turn off this because that's making too much noise. So, like I said, it's a new day. Let me see what the poll says. I wish War Sniper told me this earlier, but, you know, I'll do it now. All right, 7's good enough. Let's see what's the results. And the results are in, and it says that out of the percentage, 14% say yes, they should come back, and 85% said no, they should not be taken back, which is on the mark, which is pretty much fair. And I tell people many times that the women want to control the axis of the male mating selection here. And I tell most brothers, if you're smart, don't allow them. And here's my thing, Marcus. I remember when Red posed this question to one sister on the line. She was very concerned that the black man said that the black man might not take him back if they're slumming up or swirl up with somebody else. They are very concerned about that, bro. So it tells you, black man, you do have power. They are listening. They don't want to hear that. Know that.
Why would they want to be taken back if that's what they plan to do?
Because
they have a return strategy. Like, I'm trying to understand that.
Well, my thing is this: when they look at the main selection, they in their mind, because they, like, you hear the notion that they say they own black men, which, I question that, but okay, that they could fuck up their life, do what they want, and after a while they feel they're entitled to, hold on, they're entitled to a man that's productive, doing what they want, to rescue them, to cover them, in other words.
I thought that was the point in divesting. I thought the whole point in divesting was to be rescued from us.
Well, that's what they say. But once that's what they said. But imagine when the man said okay and said don't take him back. Now they're complaining and saying something. Not all, but just enough are open their mouths about it. And let you know, say that they look at men today as the insurance policy. Mostly black men say, I'll come do what I have to do outside the community. I might get married by these non-black men. And if not, I can come back to the community and somebody's going to take it, because most black men don't have standards, and their standards very low in regards to who they mate select. So they, in their mind, they said, I could come back. Because other groups of men, they know they're not taking back their woman if they start dealing with us. So why we should be the exception rule? Because a lot of men have not put their foot down and say, you just, you're done. Go over there. You divest. You're good. Stay over there. Because they know it's not happening. That's why they talk about the numbers that is growing in interracial marriage. They're lying. Because it was growing, you won't have this concern about it. You just go, you'll be good. Hell, I'll say even further, Marcus. If they were able to get the non-black men that they said they want, we wouldn't have this argument right now offline. There would be no such thing as divestment, because it would have been easy. They would have got what they want, and then you hear no talk about this community. But they're going to still open their mouth and complain because they don't get what they want at the end of the day. When people complain the most, like really, they're not getting what they want from the opposite sex. That's how I look at it. So
I mean, that makes sense, but my thing is this, right? If you have faith in the idea of divestment, then you wouldn't have to worry about being taken back, right? That's number one.
correct.
Number two, black men saying that they wouldn't take swirlers back. I mean, and I would imagine it would have to be known that they were a swirler.
Yeah, that too.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think if the chick is banging enough, they'll take her. Mm-hmm. Understand? Black men sell a lot of their dignity off of vagina.
Yes,
in my opinion. You know what I mean? I don't think that black men have enough like hard rules of engagement. I think a good number, not everybody, a good number of red pill MGTOW guys are in the space because they don't have the woman, like you said, they're not getting the woman they want, or they're not getting what they want from the opposite sex. But let a woman show up and adopt to their program, and they'll change a lot of those philosophies. I've seen it happen.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it happen. You got the real deal guys, and then you got the guys who, again, I've seen guys online talk that hard body red pill philosophy. Then they get a girlfriend, and then now they telling everybody on the internet how to be a real man and your queen. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I hear guys say, well, they, if a chick divests, they ain't gonna rock with her. I'll be hard pressed to believe like that somebody won't smack. I mean, as much of these chicks, right, that be embarrassing these rappers like Amber Rose or Black China or Cat Stacks and all these other women that we've heard about, right? They'll play one guy and then the next guy will date her in public, right? How many rappers did Amber Rose date? And she I don't know if she's black or if she's Cape Verdean or whatever.
No, she's a mulatto. She's a mixed person. I've never seen the pictures of her family. They said who's who, but I never got litness of her family side. But I would say that she is mixed per se. And the funny thing with mixed women, you can go either or with a mixed person because they are a byproduct of miscegenation. So I can't really speak on that. But someone that's like black that come from actual two black parents, and that's not our conversation to talk about. But when someone is mixed, obviously they could play either side because let's be honest, they are one half non-black. So that's my logic to it. But
No, I understand.
I get you, Marcus. Overall, my thing is this, that a black man's gonna do what he's gonna do. The only thing I'm hoping and praying, I don't like to say that, but I say that the standards are a little bit more better. It should be high as possible, especially a man that's doing what you should be doing. It should be high, especially if you put yourself in the right position, economic, spiritually, emotional, also. That you should try to get the best out of your deal at the end of the day. And if you're not doing that, then you have some soul searching to do. But that's what I'm hoping, praying for the men that's coming up to do so. I can't speak for the average Negro because let's be honest, they're gonna take back any woman that looks good, and trust me, I've seen it. So but I leave it on that. So, any quick remarks, Marcus?
Now, other than that, just that's pretty much my stance on it. I preach SYSBM all day. I tell guys, you got to develop some hard line stances on, respect and loyalty and things like that. But, I just keep seeing more and more of guys who, like I said, in order to have proximity to black female vagina, or, in order to get black female affection on the internet and things like that, they willing to sacrifice dignity, self-respect, and all types of other things, regardless of what she has done, man. We've seen some heinous things said on this internet thing, man, and black men are still ignoring all that. They still trying to fight for they woman back, and is done, is over, is gone, is finished, and that's that's pretty much my stance on it. And it always will be, man. This thing is done, bros. I hate to burst anybody's bubbles here, but you smash, but be careful taking it any further than that, because this is where we are, man. This is the culture.
Okay. Oh, one last thing. Did you ever to watch the Smoke Session Volume 4? Did you get a chance to see a few clips of it? Because it was a lengthy stream that I posted on my channel.
Which one was that? What is that?
The Smoke Session Volume 4.
I started to watch it. I gotta continue with that one.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Yeah, I was watching it this morning. I had to jump into some work, but then I started to watch Officer Faulkner go in on the what's the guy's name? The
troll. Yeah.
The troll. Yeah. That looked like it's gonna be entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I do those smoke sessions because I told me I had to talk with Officer Faulkner because he has some good stuff that combat, and he's still undefeated till this day. So until I see otherwise, I also put out that content, But stay tuned for that. But thank you, Marcus. I'll be listening to next stream you do, hopefully this week, possibly. But we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, man. Shameless plug. Keep it 100, baby.
That's right. Keep 100. Marcus Aurelius. I think it's saying that right. That's him. Yep. All right. Check him out. Thank you, Marcus.
No doubt. Peace.
And to everybody, thank you for listening to today's stream. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, the top bell, not the middle bell. That's where all notifications come about. Also, if you can, follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7 and add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. And also, I got the link to the Discord if you want to join my Discord server on the About section on the Chaos Rain channel on YouTube. And I think that's pretty much it. Like always, thank y'all for watching and listening to today's broadcast. This week, there should be some good streams or uploads I should be having up. But sit back, make sure your notification is on high, and be prepared for that. So, till next time. Ray.